Water is a central resource to the Santa Barbara community. From recreation and harvesting food in the ocean, to drinking water, to irrigating our green landscaping, reliable treatment of water and wastewater makes the Santa Barbara quality of life possible. Owned and operated by the City of Santa Barbara, the Estero Water Resource Center treats approximately 6 million gallons of municipal wastewater per day via an activated sludge process. It is the last stop for Santa Barbara's residential, commercial, and industrial wastewater before being discharged to the ocean and plays a critical role in the protection of our local ocean and beaches. First built in the 1950s, Estero has seen 3 different major versions. Version 1.0 having very basic treatment techniques that removed easily separable material in the water. Version 2.0 arrived in 1970. When the plant incorporated biological treatment to improve removal of smaller and dissolved material from the water. And the most recent version, 3.0, came about in 2019, when Estero upgraded its central biological treatment to the leading industry technology. Estero 3.0 has consistently provided the best effluent quality the plant has ever seen. At the core of Estero's mission is the protection of Santa Barbara's public health and local waterways. So what would happen if Estero and the collection system didn't exist? All the city's sewage would flow right out to our creeks, rivers, and beaches, and would result in not so pleasant outcomes. The nutrients in the wastewater would cause a phenomenon called eutrophication, where bacteria in the creeks and local ocean would use up the water's natural dissolved oxygen, and cause a die-off of larger organisms like fish and invertebrates. Harmful bacteria would contaminate our waters and people would become ill from swimming at our local beaches. Local ocean crops like shellfish would become unsafe to harvest and eat. Water quality in the creeks and local ocean would deteriorate substantially, including buildup of trash and other debris on the beaches. History shows us one local result of lacking sanitary systems. In 1918, there was an outbreak of salmonella in Santa Barbara that took the lives of 44 people. This outbreak was caused by using contaminated groundwater as drinking water. Officials later learned the groundwater became contaminated over time from outhouse use throughout the city. While we may take it for granted, wastewater collection and treatment play a tremendous role in maintaining and protecting public health. Wastewater first starts out as potable water. Potable water in Santa Barbara comes from Lake Cachuma, Gibraltar Reservoir, groundwater wells, and the reactivated desalination plant. Once treated at either the Cater Water Treatment Plant, the Ortega Treatment Plant, or the Charles Meyer Desalination Plant, potable water is distributed to homes and businesses throughout the city via pressurized pipes running underneath the streets. The wastewater system begins the moment water leaves the potable water system, at the kitchen tap, the shower head, the toilet, washing machine, and dishwasher. The water enters the building's sewer system and then travels into a sewer lateral. Sewer laterals are small pipes with a minimum diameter of 4 inches, which connect homes and businesses to sewer mains that run in the streets. These sewer mains convey wastewater via gravity down to Estero for treatment. At natural low points within the collection system, we have 7 different pump stations that collect, pressurize, and convey the wastewater up to a higher elevation. From these higher points, the water can once again use gravity to travel the rest of the way to Estero. Sewer mains within the city can be anywhere from 6 inches in diameter up to 42 inches in diameter. The sewer mains mimic the natural flow path of water through the hillsides, ultimately leading to Estero, which is a natural drainage point for water within the Santa Barbara area. The treatment portion of the wastewater system begins at Estero and includes physical separations, biological treatment, and disinfection. The wastewater division at the city includes 4 teams, approximately 60 employees, who daily collect, treat, analyze, and maintain the wastewater system. Wastewater flows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Wastewater staff are either working or available at a call's notice at all hours of the day to respond to emergencies in the system. All operators, maintenance technicians, and lab analysts are certified in their field by California Water Environment Association. The city collections team is responsible for cleaning the sewer mains of debris, fats, oils, grease, and tree roots to make sure wastewater can travel unobstructed to El Estero. Vacuum jetter trucks can be seen throughout the city streets during the week performing these cleanings. These routine cleanings and assessments of sewer pipes are critical to ensure that we don't experience sewer overflows in the city. Note that the wastewater collection system does not collect stormwater. Stormwater is conveyed untreated to the ocean via the storm drain system. The El Estero operations team consists of operators who are on site 19 and a half hours a day to monitor plant operations, and at least one rotating operator is on call for the other 4.5 hours a day to respond to any overnight issues. Operators are responsible for running the plant, responding to alarms, and some bits of routine maintenance to keep the plant functioning. Operators running the plant can be thought of like someone driving a car. In a vehicle, the driver turns the wheel and operates the gas and brake pedals. At the plant, this looks like exercising valves, turning pumps on and off, and taking tanks in and out of service. Similarly, a driver makes decisions on where to go, how fast to go, and reacts to changes in road conditions. At the plant, this looks like deciding how much biomass to cultivate, how long to run certain equipment, how fast to run a pump, and adjusting plant operations based on changing conditions of wastewater entering the plant. The El Estero maintenance team performs routine repairs and preventative maintenance to rotating equipment like pumps and conveyors, electrical equipment like breakers and control panels, and monitoring instrumentation like pH probes. Additionally, the maintenance team performs small upgrade or corrective maintenance projects at the plant as needed. They ensure that both the mechanical and electrical equipment are calibrated and functioning properly on an ongoing basis. El Estero employs a robust asset management program that identifies and prevents equipment issues before they begin, similar to changing oil or the timing belt on a car. The fourth team at El Estero is the laboratory staff. This team is responsible for taking water samples, analyzing those samples, and reporting results of water quality throughout the plant and in the drinking water system. Certified by the state as an Environmental Laboratory Approval Program, or ELAP, accredited lab, the lab staff perform rigorous quality control in their sampling, analysis methods, and reporting standards. The results of tests from the lab are critical in making decisions on how to run the plant and operation of the drinking water system. These four teams form the backbone of the wastewater system. Their collaborative work is critical to the continued success of the treatment process. The wastewater treatment process can be thought of as removal of solids and nutrients from the influent water to the plant. Solids can include anything from organic material like human waste to inorganic material like sand. Once at the plant, the water first goes into a preliminary screening and grit removal unit. This separates and disposes of large objects, trash, and heavy inorganic grit in order to protect our downstream rotating equipment. Following this large object separation, the water enters one of 5 different primary clarifiers. These units remove solids from the water by slowing it down and allowing light material to flow and heavy material to sink. We collect both by a series of scrapers that run along the top and bottom of these tanks. After primary clarification comes the heart of our plant operation, biological treatment in our 6 aeration basins. Here, we cultivate a community of microorganisms that consume the hard-to-remove nutrients in the wastewater. We provide these microorganisms food, air, and time, and they clean the water simply by living their normal bacterial lives. Then, just like in the primary clarifiers, we slow down the water to let the microorganisms either float or sink. Also like the primaries, we use scrapers to collect the sinking and floating material. This separation clarifies the water and decreases the turbidity or cloudiness of the water. It's pretty amazing to consider the radical change the water undergoes in just a few hours. From passing untreated into the headworks, in a very short time frame, the wastewater becomes clarified effluent ready for disinfection. From the clarifiers, we disinfect the water with bleach to kill any remaining harmful bacteria. After disinfection, the majority of water is sent out to the Pacific Ocean through a 1.5-mile long pipe that runs along the ocean floor. A portion of the water that enters the plant is passed through the membrane system to produce recycled water. This is the water in the purple pipes that helps to irrigate our parks, golf courses, and provide water to flush toilets on the waterfront. During the summer months, we recycle up to 1/3 of the water that comes into the plant, offsetting demand on fresh water from Lake Kachuma. Lastly, the solids collected from the wastewater are sent to our solids handling facilities. The crux of the solids processing area are our anaerobic digesters, which use a different set of bacteria from our aeration basins. These bacteria don't like oxygen, but do a great job to break down the sludge we collect from the wastewater. In addition to the sludge taken from the clarifiers, we also receive fats, oils, and grease, or fog, from local restaurants. We then dose this fog into the digesters, which really break it down. A handy byproduct of digestion is a mixture of methane and other inert gases, which we refer to as biogas. We capture this biogas, clean it up, and put it through an engine similar to a car engine. This engine turns a generator which powers up to 50% of Estero's electrical demand. After digestion, the sludge is pressed between a few big belts to remove excess water from the solids. At this point, the sludge becomes biosolids. The last step in the solids train is to haul away these biosolids. A composter picks up, hauls, and composts our biosolids for beneficial reuse in commercial and residential settings. So looking at the big picture, Estero has one stream coming in, untreated sewage, and 4 streams leaving. The 4 streams leaving are disinfected effluent that goes out to the ocean, recycled water that is distributed to the city for irrigation, biosolids that are composted by a third-party contractor, and biogas that's used on site. You can find more information on each of the Estero process areas mentioned in separate videos online.